In addition to those Chiefs in the Hall of Fame, 29 men are enshrined in the Ring of Honor, 7 of them members of the Chiefs' great defense of the 60s and 70s. Joining Buck Buchanan on the defensive line is Jerry Mays, a member of the all-time AFL team.
Very intelligent guy. He was a graduate of engineering in civil engineering at SMU, and I know he's Phi Beta Kappa. And yet, I can remember one time we were playing the Oakland Raiders, and all of a sudden Jerry Mays just starts yelling, "Kill, kill, kill," which took me aback because I'm so used to Jerry, or was so used to Jerry, making very, very intelligent statements. Honestly and truly, I think that if somebody came to him and said, "Jerry Mays, we're having a tough time with the Chiefs. We're not making any money. You're going to have to pay us $5,000 to play this year," I think he'd pay him $5,000. He'd play.
All 3 linebackers from that defense are in the ring. Jim Lynch, number 51, will forever be linked to Willie Lanier, number 63.
Jim Lynch was a linebacker at Notre Dame, All-American. I'd come out of Morgan State Historically Black College in 1967. The Chiefs had a need for a middle linebacker. They were trying to improve the position, so they drafted both of us. And it never turned into an acrimonious relationship. Jim and I had desire to perform and to see each other perform well. So if you were to think of a complementary person that would make your game better, because the ultimate aspect of a team game is that those around you make you better as you make them better, and that was the kind of skills that Jim had.
Lynch and Hall of Famers Willie Lanier and Bobby Bell formed one of the finest linebacking trios the game has ever seen. Ironically, their excellence has probably kept Lynch from enshrinement in the Hall.
I think the problem with that is that I don't care if you have 3 great anythings, at the same positions. It's very, very unlikely, even though you have the talent, very, very unlikely they would take 3 linebackers from one team and put them into the Hall of Fame.
The final 2 members of the Chiefs Hall of Fame from that championship defense played in the secondary. Cornerback Emmett Thomas, number 18, and safety Johnny Robinson. Robinson came out of LSU as a halfback and compiled 77 receptions and just under 2,000 yards of total offense in his 2 seasons on offense. When the Chiefs needed a safety, Robinson made the switch to defense, where he finished with the 3rd most interceptions in AFL history and was named to the all-time AFL team. Johnny Robinson always came up big. Injured in the AFL championship game, he not only played, he excelled when the Chiefs needed him most in Super Bowl IV.
Johnny Robinson broke his ribs, or cracked his ribs, and he had 1 week to get better. And typical Johnny Robinson fashion, he wasn't going to miss that football game. So he wound up playing with ribs that were pretty banged up. So it was not a minor little nick. He was hurt badly. He not only played in the football game, I know he got at least 1 interception. I think he recovered a fumble at the same time, because that was that famous picture of him sitting down with his arm in the air. Well, I don't even know how he lifted his arm because his ribs were hurting so bad. But, you do a lot of things with the adrenaline pumping, so it was a great game for him, and he certainly was one of the big reasons that we did well.
As was Emmett Thomas, who holds team records for interceptions in 1 season with 12, and career interceptions with 58, ranking in the top 10 interceptors in NFL history.
Chiefs defense was very fast, very mobile. Probably the most finesse player that we had was Emmett Thomas. And he would trick quarterbacks into throwing the ball. He would act like he didn't have the guy covered real well and all that sort of thing. But there was a lot of guile to it, but they were also very, very tough football players. And I don't think that there was a better defense in the league.
A strong argument can be made that the 4 other members of the great Chiefs defense of the 60s and 70s also belong in the Ring of Honor. Safety Jim Kearney tied the NFL record with 4 touchdown returns, including 2 in one game in 1972. Jim Marsalis, number 40, was the smallest member of the defense, but was one of its hardest hitters.
It was a violent defense. They definitely hit you, virtually everybody. I mean, if you didn't hit, you didn't play. and you got into that camaraderie. Jimmy Marsalis, that played defensive back for us, was a bump and run aficionado. His nickname was Cat. He was like a cobra. He could run backwards as fast as the wide receiver ran forward. They changed the rules on bump and run.
There can be no greater success than to have changed the game, an accomplishment also achieved by pro football's first nose tackle, Curly Culp, number 61.
Curly Culp was defensive tackle for us that I think changed the way offenses worked and changed the way defenses worked. Now you've got to block a Curly Culp who is quick as a cat, Olympic wrestler. It's a long afternoon for a guy. And so that changed. I think that offenses changed and schemes changed because you had to counteract the Curly Culps of the world. They're going to be right on your nose.
Aaron Brown was the 4th member of a defensive line known as the Redwood Forest. A number 1 draft selection, the 6'5", 265-pound Brown was so fast, the Chiefs experimented with him as a fullback. At 6'7", defensive end Art Still would have fit in nicely as a member of the Redwood Forest. A 2-time Chiefs MVP, Still is a perfect fit in the Chiefs' Ring of Honor. Defensive end Neil Smith installed himself into opponents' pass pockets and the Chiefs Hall of Fame.
Let's go. Let's go. DT, Joe, DT. DT. Hey, you look, couldn't hold me, man. You could hold me. Come on. There you go. Get out of here. Come on. That's it. Gotta get in the huddle, boy. Hey, boy, hey, we can do that all day, Big 71. You playing my game like that, baby. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Alert the secondary now.
Right.
This is an adversity situation. Tell the secondary.
Yeah. Secondary, hold on. Secondary, adversity. Up top on y'all. Let's go. Get in there, Mark. Get in, Mark. Yeah. Woo. I told you. Did I tell you get in there? Oh, yeah. Hey. Did I tell you get in there?
Smith and Derek Thomas, number 58, gave the Chiefs one of the most feared pass-rushing tandems in NFL history. DT established team records for career sacks, safeties, fumble recoveries, and forced fumbles. His club mark of 20 sacks in one season includes an NFL record 7 in one game. Neil Smith and his little buddy Derek Thomas forged an unbreakable bond as teammates, as each star tried to outsparkle the other.
It's a very unique relationship because in our relationship, we're the best of friends, yet we compete against each other each and every snap.
Anytime Derek Thomas make a play, and make a super play, it just brings me up, you know, to say, well, hey, you know, I can't let him outdo me.
I think they're inseparable, almost like Mutt and Jeff, in my opinion.
Neil and Derek's like Heckle and Jekyll, because one guy's totally opposite from the other.
I was born a disciplined child, never knew how I got so wild.
Nice hat.
Hey, you gotta wear that damn sombrero sometimes.
Young will throw. He's being rushed. He's headed the end zone. He's headed the end zone. It's a safety for Kansas City. Derek Thomas nailed Steve Young in the end zone for 2 points.
Though Derek Thomas suffered an untimely death in 2000, he and Neil Smith will walk together forever. E.J. Holub had a unique split personality. In Super Bowl I, number 55 played linebacker versus the Green Bay Packers. Holub's qualities were so vital to the team that, in an effort to prolong his career, Hank Stram moved him to center, his position in Super Bowl IV.
We felt that he was near the end of the road as far as linebackers are concerned because I think he had about 8 operations up until that time. But he was such a great player and such a great person for our team.
I knew you'd do it, Doc! Hey, Doc! I knew you'd do it!
Holler guy, enthusiastic, you know, 100% guy. I always felt that we were somehow, some way, we're going to move him over to center so we could prolong his career and use that great talent of his from a leadership standpoint and overall ability standpoint to be an offensive center. But he played the right linebacker position. We had Cheryl Hedrick, who was a terrific linebacker for us all during the years of the American Football League. Most instinctive player I had ever seen in my life. Smart as a whip and could smell plays, anticipate plays like nobody ever saw.
They really named him right when they named him Psycho. He was a legend. Some of the, he's unbelievable. He is simply unbelievable.
He was probably the best middle linebacker in football back in the days when they talked about Sam Huff and Joe Schmidt. Cheryl Hedrick was playing in the American Football League, and he was, in my opinion, just as good as those 2 football players. Cheryl was probably the best middle linebacker in football back in the 60s. Plus, he was one of the all-time characters of professional football.
The man's threshold of pain is unbelievable. And I can recall that he broke a finger, and the bone was sticking out of his finger, and he came to the sidelines and wanted the trainer to snap it in place. And he said, no, goes to the team doctor. He says, no, I don't have time. So he said, bang, he snapped it in place himself. And he said, I'll be back, get me some tape. The next play, he came back and wrapped it around his 2 fingers together and back out playing again without missing a stroke.
I enjoyed playing football. That was my life. I thought it was the most incredible thing in the world. Everybody said I didn't make much money playing football, which I didn't. But if you look at it the other way, I thought those people were completely stupid. They're paying me to do the thing that I love most.
Gary Spaney is the Chiefs' all-time leader in tackles with 999 train wrecks. Enough said. Another linebacker holds the team record for longest fumble return. Chris Martin, number 57, with a 101-yard return against the Dolphins.
The ball card free, picked up by Chris Martin. The 20, a foot right to the 30, the 40, the sideline, the 50. He's gone. He's gone. Oh, baby, what a play!
Safety Gary Barbaro turned in the team's longest interception return, 102 yards versus the Seahawks. Barbaro left the Chiefs in 1982, leaving a safety spot open that was filled by a free agent punter from Rutgers University in New Jersey, Deron Cherry. Although not given much of a chance of success, Cherry intercepted 50 passes in 11 seasons, and started in 5 straight Pro Bowls.
The only thing I had to offer was my mind and that determination. And I think, you know, you can go through all the tests, the physical tests that, you know, are supposed to measure a guy's athletic ability, but they've never developed a test yet that I know of that measures the size of a man's heart and his commitment to the game and his commitment to go out there and succeed. And that was the size of my heart, to go out there and to succeed and to say, hey, I belong in this league, I can play with these guys. You have to have that sort of passion for the game. Otherwise, why do you go out there and play it? I mean, the money's one thing, but eventually there's got to be something that motivates you more than just money to go out there and lay it on the line every single play. And that's the passion for the game, the love of the game.
In 1999, Cherry's safety mate, Lloyd Burris, number 34, joined him in the Ring of Honor. Burris joined Jim Kearney in the NFL record book with 2 interception return touchdowns in the same game. And he and Cherry proved their love of the game by both playing special teams, with both players scoring touchdowns.
Gary Newsom, 5 yards deep in his own end zone. The punt is blocked. It's blocked. The Chiefs recover in the end zone. Touchdown, Deron Cherry. Left on the loose balls and pounced in the end zone.
From 1981 to 91, Cherry and Burris were as fine a pair of safeties as there were in the game. The Chiefs have always had extra special teams, beginning with punter Gerald Wilson, a member of the AFL's all-time team. Wilson, known as Thunderfoot, was tough and a fine athlete, another weapon in Hank Stram's imaginative arsenal. In 1980, Nick Lowry came along and surpassed many of Jan Stenerud's records.
1 minute, 19 seconds to go. Here's the snap. Place down, booted. It is up, and it is good!
Well, Lowry came through. You knew tremendous pressure on that young man. Didn't bother him a bit. Hit the ball perfectly. No question about it. It would have been good from 50 yards.
50 yards or more was no problem for Lowry, as he was successful on no less than 20 kicks of that length. Lowry finished his career as the 5th leading scorer in NFL history, and almost always came through in the crunch.
58 seconds remaining. Kick is up. It's long enough. It is gone! Yes! There's the snap. A good hole. Here's the soccer-style kick. It is up, and it is good! Lowry is converted from 39 yards away with 2 seconds left. With 2 seconds left.
There has been no shortage of spectacular kick returners in Kansas City, beginning with number 1, Nolan Smith. A 5'5" speedster, Smith, known as the Gnat, tied the NFL record with a 106-yard kickoff return. J.T. Smith, who is also an excellent receiver, returned 2 punts for touchdowns in 2 different seasons. Tamarick Vanover racked up 8 kickoff and punt return touchdowns.
Trench left to the 30. Breaks a tackle. 35. Vanover at the 45, 50. Still on his feet. It's by Ruin up the left sideline. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown.
And then there's Dante Hall with a team record 10 kick return touchdowns, including an NFL record 6 on kickoffs.
45, 40, cuts back right. He's up to 25. An incredible punt return by Dante Hall. He's got it. He cut back left. It is a touchdown.